Wow, Freefly got our attention today. The Astro is going to be really interesting because you could throw a FLIR Duo Pro R on it, you could throw the Sony a7 R4 on it, and a couple of other, possibly even custom payloads. Hey guys, welcome back. I've been working over the past week on thoughts and kind of organizing what I wanted to talk about in the next video. So my plan was to kind of go in order of which drones we brought online. So if you go back to the beginning of our program, the first drone that we really operationalized and used for a lot of surveying and mapping was the Phantom 4 Pro. There was a couple of critical factors for that. Mechanical shutter and a 1-inch sensor. So you've got really good data with less motion blur than a rolling shutter, and we've used it pretty extensively over the years. We really care about motion blur, and we want to reduce that as much as possible. And mechanical shutter has been a big part of that. Nothing is quite the same as the Phantom 4 RTK. I can find drones that are small, that fly longer, that can tolerate more winds. They have smaller sensors, and I would rather have the 1-inch or larger sensor and the mechanical shutter. One of the scariest things that I'm absolutely trying to avoid is to get into custom building a drone, supporting it, because that's going to send our overhead costs through the roof. We're going to have to maintain those, we're going to have to build them, we're then on the hook for firmware, testing, making sure everything's good. Whereas when you get a DJI drone, yes, firmware can be a bit of a nightmare from time to time when they drop them. But we have one point of contact to go to, and we've been able to get support when we need it. And today, Freefly Systems introduced a new drone called the Astro. And it's more comparable in size probably to this M300 RTK here. It's going to cost twice as much as a Phantom 4 RTK and several times more than a Phantom 4 Pro. With the introduction of the Astro, we potentially could find a heavy lift and a mapping drone all from one company and have an enterprise level support agreement. And for me, that's a really important thing I look at when we're potentially looking at buying a drone. Being able to throw a Sony a7 R4 on the new Astro is really going to be the closest competitor to the Phantom 4 RTK. I break in while editing, I'm reshooting the end of this. Looking at everything over the past week, I've realized this is going to be a lot harder than I expected. So I was looking at the Phantom 4 and the Phantom 4 RTK and realized, they're pretty good. The mechanical shutter and all the other features, pound for pound, it's a really good drone. There's not a direct comparison that replaces it from any of the others. So if I want the exact functionality, I'm gonna have to spend more money. Really, it looks like Freefly's Astro is gonna be the closest pound for pound to the Phantom 4 RTK. Phantom 4 Pro, you look like you've got choices between Autel, maybe Parrot. Not exact, but pretty darn close. You can even get a little better flight time and others, but ultimately I'm still a little undecided. I think I'm going to look a little harder at the Astro. It has the potential of taking over thermal, photo, video, and surveying. Mechanical shutter, higher resolution camera than what we currently have on the Phantom 4, so that's good. But really that's going to come at a huge trade-off, and the trade-off is cost. I'm going to spend a lot more money on the Astro than I would on a Phantom 4 Pro or a Phantom 4 RTK, and I think that's just part of the concession I'm going to have to make. I am going to get an Autel Evo 2 to run through some paces and try it out. I know kind of sensor-wise and everything else, I have a good idea what to expect, but the user experience of the app and how that works is very interesting. So I'm really curious for you guys. If you fly a Phantom or a Phantom 4 RTK, what are you looking at? Are you thinking Freefly, or are you thinking Autel, or are you thinking potentially Parrot?